Coley in the shotgun. Joe Cusick setting things up on both sides. Oh, he's telling you, we have 4 minutes left. That's what it is. We look at the scoreboard, they'll tell us the whole story. 4 minutes left. Each team has been warned as we continue now. Another bad snap, Coley, and down he goes. Great tackle from behind, number 57. And now we're getting players in who are not appearing on the scorecard. But whoever that gentleman is, making a great tackle. And you see Coley still with a lot of trouble. From behind, Vic Golio cleaning it up on the play. We're going to send the hacker, Pete Maneri, down to the field now. If you have a complaint, call the hacker. 576-6900. Okay. They're down now. They set up a little screen to Rusty Scholes. Scholes with a nice little gainer there, close to the 40-yard line. He'll bring up a third down now. Ball right at the 40-yard line. 16-yard completion on that screen. And Coley having a good day through the air, but it's just not enough. Under 2 minutes to go.
Come on, guys, get up!
Schultz again in motion. Coley drops straight back. Puts it up in the air and completed to Rusty Schultz again, and he's forced out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Let's take another look at it. What do you say? They like to send Schultz in motion, and then he cuts right up the field, and Coley, knowing that he doesn't have too much time, gets it to Schultz, and Brian Anacarico blasting him out of bounds. And we have a whistle and a timeout being taken by Dobbs Ferry here with 1:38 left to go. Little trouble getting the punting unit on the field. We now have a 4th down. Don't forget, on Extra Points, this week's edition of Extra Points here on Cable 3, with the Peanut Gallery, make no mistake, they will be with us the rest of the season. And we will have for you highlights of most of the Section 1 games. The games played here at Memorial Field. Of course, 2 of them will be played up in Poughkeepsie. And unfortunately, we won't have highlights of those, but we will have highlights of this game, plus the New Rochelle Gorton game, the Westlake Our Lady of Lords, and Horace Greeley Roosevelt. So that'll be on this week's coming edition of Extra Points.
Number one! All the way! Yeah! Yeah, baby, yeah!
They're a tad on the excited side. The Eagles of Dobbs Ferry, who will be moving on to the Class C finals against the winner of either Pine Plains and Rhinebeck. That game will be played here on Friday the 26th at 8 o'clock. And you'll be able to see the game in its entirety right here at Cable 3. We're just about done here. 1:38 left to go. 50-0 the score. Dobbs Ferry on top. And the Tigers will be punting it away. Another good kick by Viola. And it takes a Croton roll, still rolling, inside the 15, inside the 10, and we'll be down at the 8-yard line. So Dobbs Ferry will have it for the final 1:22 of the ball game. 1st and 10 from their own 8-yard line. And again, we'll tell you coming up at the end of the ball game, the hacker Pete Maneri down on the field with Frank Violante, the head football coach of Dobbs Ferry, looking for their first undefeated season ever. As we've told you many times on Extra Points and on our Game of the Week, Frank Violante has always come up with 1 loss through great seasons, but this year, an entire different story. 1st and 10 now for the Eagles. And a whistle. Penalty marker will go down on the play. And they are talking with the captains. I guess we have a timeout charged to Croton with 57 seconds left. $50-0 the score. Touchdown passes, touchdown runs, 67 yards, 36 yards. Dobbs Ferry has done it all ways possible tonight, and will be heading for that Class C championship. Dino Gar, the head coach for Westlake, was questioning us on our Cable 3 WVOX Radio Top 10s when we had a chance to talk with him. And he might have a little grief here to find out who is the best team in the county. Thornton on a quarterback keeper. And he gets just about a yard, maybe two on the play. Clock continues to roll. We're down to 40 seconds.
Will all spectators please stay off the playing field at the conclusion of the game?
30 seconds left. Dobbs Ferry will come out for their final play of this ball game. Thornton will take it himself, butts up the middle and gets just a couple. And this should just about do it. Dobbs Ferry will be able to let the clock run out and will be moving on to the Class C championship against the winner of Pine Plains and Rhinebeck as the fans count it down. 4 seconds left. Dobbs Ferry has shown us that they are indeed the class of the small schools in Westchester County, and they have completely manhandled the Tigers of Croton by a score of 50-0. We're going to have a rundown of all the scoring, give you some quick statistics, and of course we will have the Hacker Pete Maneri down on the field to have a chat with Frank Violante, the head football coach of the Eagles of Dobbs Ferry, now with a record of 8-0, and as we mentioned, looking for that first undefeated season this time around. So we'll have that for you, plus some statistics and a preview of our next ball game, all of that right after these messages. Here at Memorial Field, there's your final. Dobbs Ferry moving on to the Class C championship game as they defeat Croton 50-0. Let's quickly go down to the field with the winning coach and the Hacker Pete Maneri.
All right, thank you, John. We're down here with Frank Violante, the winning coach. 50-0, coach. It's 94-0 against this ball club. They're not a bad ball club. That means your club must really run it up. How good is this Dobbs Ferry team?
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good football team. Maybe the best one I've ever had in my 9 years at Dobbs. But we still have one more to go, so we're not going to make any comparisons till the season's over, Pete.
Frank, your club, you're deep in backs, yet your line, which really doesn't get the headlines, opened it up tonight. Your kids were running through with, it seemed like 2 or 3 yards on either side. Very basic stuff that you're doing inside. You want to explain some of it?
Well, we run the Delaware wing team. We've been running it since I've been here, and we run the same plays year in and year out. It's just execution that gets the job done. We have some real fine backs, but I think our offensive line is the key also. We have a very talented bunch of boys.
Pre-game, John Caridio and I were talking about, well, sometimes a team that has lost the first time out has a bit of an advantage the second time because they see what beat them the first time and then they prepare for it. What did you do differently? Obviously, at 50-0, you didn't show Croton anything that they couldn't, rather that they could adjust to. What did you do differently tonight than you did in a 44-0 win?
Honestly, nothing, not a thing. We ran the same plays we ran against them the first time. I think we threw the ball a little earlier this time than we did the first game, but you know, we're a balanced team. We can do anything we want to do when we execute, so we didn't do anything differently, you know. And I just want to say to Coach Jerry Solis and the Croton Tigers, they're a fine football team, and you know, they were well prepared. They did some things that we didn't expect, but I just think we just outmanned them a little bit more.
Frank Violante, you and your ball club, congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Pete. Appreciate it.
Back upstairs to John Caridio.
All right, we didn't lose him this time around, but there's your final. Dobbs Ferry defeating Croton 50-0. Some quick stats. Tom Coley for Croton, 13 of 22 through the air for 180 yards, but that was offset by our MVP of this Class C championship, fullback Rich DeGuglielmo, 232 yards on the ground, and he had 2 touchdowns. And Dobbs Ferry coming up with 483 total yards in tonight's ball game. So that'll do it from Memorial Field here in Mount Vernon. For our director, Mr. Christopher Reed, our technical supervisor, Gordon Jackson, and the Hacker Pete Maneri, I'm John Caridio. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget, coming up will be the Class A championship. #1 New Rochelle taking on #2 Gordon, and we'll have that game also from Memorial Field here in Mount Vernon. I'm John Caridio. Thanks very much for watching the final. Once again, Dobbs Ferry defeating Croton by a score of 50-0.
off a 50-0 win over Croton in the semifinals. Frank, your club tonight, though, facing someone you haven't seen this season in Pine Plains. How do you prepare for that?
Well, we went up and had a chance to scout them last week, Pete, so that helped us. And we played them last year in the semifinals, so we have some general idea of them. But we think they're a real fine ball club and probably the best team we'll play all year.
We've seen some upsets, especially specifically the Gorton upset of New Rochelle. On this field a week ago, New Rochelle obviously came in as #1, thinking that they were just going to roll, maybe have a little difficulty, and then go ahead and win it. They didn't. Their kids were flat. Is that something you can guard against?
I don't know. You really can talk about it. You can't really control it until the whistle blows and you see what happens. We think we're ready and we think we're up for it, and we'll only know once the game starts.
Last week you threw a little early against Croton, a little earlier than perhaps a lot of people thought you would. Do you have anything special planned for tonight?
No, I think I told you last week, we don't do anything different. We'll just run our normal plays, and whatever they give us, we'll take.
Defensively, how do you set up?
Well, we're in a 4-4, a multiple split look, and you know, we just normally do our basic defensive alignments and just play out of that.
Sounds very simple.
It is. We don't change. We've been running that defense and that offense for the last 9 years, and we just hopefully will execute right, and that'll be the difference.
Of course, the DFvCR3 club blessed with outstanding running backs and a pretty good quarterback. In the development of those players, is there anything specifically? Is it a bowl game like this? Is it a big win in the season? What is it that gets you ready to have a senior group in this position?
Well, we're usually in that situation with seniors. A lot of people think this is the same club as last year that was in the finals. Not. We lost 17 starters off of that club, and the year before we lost 16 starters, and this year we'll lose 17 again. So you know, we just keep working them hard in practice, and they learn the system. And by the time they become seniors, hopefully they know the system.
Frank Violante, I want to thank you for stopping by. Wish you good luck tonight, and thank you very much for all your cooperation all season. We really appreciate it, and we've enjoyed it.
Thanks a lot, Pete. It's a pleasure.
Okay, now over to John Caridio with Ron Tice, the opposite number, and we're going to find out about Pine Plains.
So let's go down to the field now with our referee, Ron Gosler.
Mr. Everett will be the line judge with the clock. Mr. Hill is your umpire. Mr. Mosher is your head linesman. My name is Geisler. I'm your referee. You come to me on penalties. Have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Okay? We'll call you blue. Call you white for clarification, okay? The lady is ahead. All right, the eagle is the tail. All right, I will toss it and let it hit the ground. Who's gonna call it, please? All right, call it nice and loud. Calls ahead. Okay, there's a tail. Yeah. Blue is one to toss. Gentlemen, your choice. You want the ball. Gentlemen, what goal do you defend? Turn that way, please. DFvCR3 to receive. Blue to kick. Good luck, fellas. Have a good ball game.
And the big question is, who is Mark Jackson's barber?
Nice quap, big guy.
All right, so the first battle is